Hello, my loves, and welcome back to our podcast. We are the Babbling Sisters. I'm Nellie,
I'm Riss.
And I'm Steph.
and today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Conversation. Would you like to
Oh,
introduce yourself, sir?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's your boy, Mr. Conversation, man. Coming to join the Babbling Sisters to see what we're talking about. See what we can talk about today. Chop it up a little bit.
So
And
happy you're here.
today, I'm so excited to be here. Today, we are talking about Black Lives Matter. We're going to talk about some pretty touchy issues, some serious issues that need to be discussed that are often swept under the rug, and just a bunch of other things that unfold while we discuss these situations. So, I just advise you to put your feelings to the side, like for real, and open your heart, open your mind, and just take it all in. If you have questions, ask them, comment, but don't get defensive. It might
Please
sting a
don't
little
do
bit.
it. Don't get-
Don't do it. If you don't like it, just keep it moving.
Oh, if you get offended, it's
Oh
cool.
no.
I'll answer. I'll answer every question. I love it.
Yeah, you can absolutely comment. We'll be more than happy to share our responses.
You see how she sits up? Like,
Gets excited.
I mean business.
she means business. She means business. Stephanie's like, oh no.
Oh no, Stephanie is so ready for this because she actually heard me ranting. I went on a rant today. I got in my feelings today.
Rant. What did you
Okay.
rant about today? I'm curious.
Girl, oh, we're gonna talk about it all. Like
Okay, great.
listen,
Wait.
I wrote down every thought that I had so that I made sure
It's on-
I touched on it all.
Hold on. It's only an hour episode, my friend. So every
Oh
thought that you
no,
had.
no, it might have to go into two.
Okay,
This
good.
is a serious subject.
It is.
This is something that people don't often talk about. I feel like it's hidden in a closet. It's a dirty little secret. Don't talk about it. Hush, hush. It's gonna go away. It hasn't gone away. Here we
People-
are in 2022.
People are afraid of how other people are going to look at them for their opinions on it. That's really what it is. That's why people are afraid to talk. And at the end of the day, it's a conversation that needs to be had, regardless of how your opinion is. The conversation needs to be had.
Absolutely. And this is the safe space to have said conversations. So, first thing I want to touch on, white privilege. Let's just get right into that. Okay. It's really irking me to my soul. Okay. When you automatically jump up and you say, oh, that's because of white privilege. You got all the people all of a sudden, all offended, all mad. I went through struggles in life. I had to deal with things in life. I don't have white privilege. Sorry, what?
If you have
Clearly,
white skin,
you
have
have-
white privilege.
Thank you. You clearly have it. Very rude and ignorant misunderstanding of what white privilege is. White privilege is not saying, oh, you can't be poor, you can't be homeless, you can't be from the projects. We are. That's not what that's saying. What it's saying is you're not in danger of being killed because of the color of your skin.
Yep.
That's white privilege. You were born into that privilege of not having to worry about going to the store and being shot because they think you're stealing something solely because you're white. White privilege. You're not going to get pulled over and be deemed as a threat because of the color of your skin. White privilege. It doesn't say that you're not going to be poor or deal with struggles. That's not what white privilege is. It just means that your life is not in danger because of the color of your skin. Just let that sink in. I think people don't understand it.
Well, they get mixed messages from the the media and stuff. So they're told, and they believe what they're told.
Mm.
But the weird part about believing what you're told is it's amazing they'll believe what they're told if it's coming from the media, but if the person who it happens to tells them
Right.
that it's happening to them, they'll say no,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, it's
You
not.
know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's crazy. We pick and well,
Right.
not we, but people pick and choose,
Right.
who they believe, what they want to believe, and how far they're willing to believe the person that's selling it to them. Crazy.
It is insane.
I wonder if it's like a sense of fear of being outcasted. Like, I mean, I was the black sheep in my family. I was fine with it. But I wonder if it was a sense of fear that they can't go against everyone else around them.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that plays a big part, especially in the white community, man. I mean, it's kind of like that go along, get along game mentality when it comes to, family structure. People, if that's your family, if you don't want to be labeled as the black sheep, you're gonna kind of go along with it. If grandfather is a person of status who has a certain amount of, money, whatever it may be, property, land, value, whatever, and you want to stay on the good gracious side of your grandfather because when he passed, you're in the will for sure, and money's going to come to you or property's going to come to you, and knowing that if you say something against what he believes, people go along with things they really don't believe in for the almighty dollar or just the idea of getting the money. You know what I'm saying? Having something, or it could just be as simply put as people don't want to be outcast by their family, like you said. But that's when that's when the individual has to stand tall. You know what I mean?
When do your
Yeah.
morals come into play? Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing that
Well,
I'm just
I mean,
going with these people.
yeah, well, they got. I mean, people sleep really well. If you think about it, think about how many people just across the world, how
They
they
do.
know things are wrong. They know things are wrong, and they sleep very well. We know there's people starving, like all over the planet. There's people starving. Just here in the United States,
Hmm.
people are starving.
Yep.
But I can guarantee you, there's people that will restaurants throw batches of food away like it's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the people sleep really well. Like they don't care. People don't care. It
They
doesn't
Yeah.
don't care.
directly affect them.
It's not happening in our own backyard, is what I hear a lot from a lot of people. They're more worried about other countries, what they're doing, what's happening over there. It's a whole deflection.
But it is happening
I
here.
think until it
It
happens to them,
absolutely
they
is.
don't really understand it.
Right.
Like if their son was to get pulled over for a simple traffic light not being out and end up being killed just because of the color of his skin, they would see it a little bit more. But it doesn't necessarily happen to white people. It's just unfortunate because they don't see it. They're not involved in it. It doesn't happen to them. They don't get harassed when going to the store to, do anything,
But I
pulling out
mean,
their wallet. Do you
right.
have a gun?
And neither have I,
I've
but
got to
I've
pay for my
seen it.
food. Right.
So that
We've all
to
seen
me
it.
is like open your eyes.
We've
You
all
can't
seen
avoid
it.
it
Look at
now.
two
right?
things
The
that
videos are all over.
Right.
You can't ignore it.
look at what's happened. Like look at what Wisconsin or wherever the guy that had the shotgun and went out and killed the white kid that killed two people and got off. How do you not see that? If that
And
was
drink.
somebody else, whether any other race besides being white, that would not have happened. That guy would have been shot right there and then, not
Yeah.
let alone get the trial to get off. Same with
Mhm.
the insurrection. If it was a bunch of people of a different race besides being
If it was
white
the
people and
Black
Trump
Lives Matter
supporters,
movement,
they would have been
it would
shot
have
right
been
there on the
very
federal property.
different.
Bombs.
Exactly. So two instances, and I can name a million, but those two, and you can't
Just
see
look
that
at
there's something
history.
wrong. Exactly. And those are
All you
recent.
got to do is look
Those
at
are
history.
recent.
Right. All you literally have to do is look at history
The crazy
to
part,
see it.
history can mean last week. That's the crazy
Right?
part. Like it
Yeah.
happens just like that, and people, no matter, we see it every day. You know what I'm saying? The sad part is some people say something about it, and other people just go along with it. It's sad, man. It's a sad reality when you really stop and think about it. You said something,
Mhm.
Nels. You said because it's not happening in their own backyard, they talk about other countries. Uh, America isn't. I was speaking to a Nigerian, lady. I work with her, and the truth is, like the belief that they think, like people in these other places think about America, is completely different than the way
Yeah.
we who live in America view America. It's completely
Hmm.
different. Like I
Completely
don't view
different.
America like they do. I see it like they believe like America is the best place. This is where we need to go to make it out and do all it. But when I look at America, I'm like, bro, are you? I don't think y'all see what we see. Like, granted, I can say we're spoiled as a people because Americans, we do have certain things and all that. But when you really look at the power structure in America, when you look at how things are just blatantly put in our faces to see the differences that they make in the country
Hmm.
as a whole, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
It's not the land of
Crazy.
the free.
Nah, it's
I
not at
know
all.
that's going to bother a lot of people, but we're really not the land of the free. We still have different forms of slavery here in 2022. We are still living in the past, but it's now more so hidden and a lot more denial.
It's just a different
But
name.
right. But and
Right.
I had mentioned earlier to Steph that a lot of families sit down and they have these uncomfortable discussions. A lot of families of color because of the things and the struggles that they have to deal with every day. Where white families don't sit down and have these uncomfortable discussions. They don't say, "Well, hey, what was your part in busing?" Because our parents went through that. We act like we're so far removed from slavery and from racism that it hasn't happened in so long. Our parents were in busing. And I can guarantee you that a lot of my family were the ones throwing rocks, beating
I'd bet
people
money
up,
on it.
kicking them out the schools. I will sit here and I will tell you, and I don't care. Y'all can get offended all you want. I surely hope it goes back to them. I hope that I'm gonna tag people in this video. Like, you want to be sit there and uncomfortable and really unravel it, you have to address it, because otherwise if you're just sweeping it under the rug, you're never going to move past it. You want to act like, "Oh no, that wasn't us. We're past that. We don't do that. That No, we don't believe in that." But you're not speaking about it, therefore you're hiding it, therefore you're not moving forward or making a change,
Yep.
no matter what you say.
Accept responsibility. Accept responsibility for your part in it. Accept accountability
Right.
for what you did, and make amends. Like that's
Right.
people. A simple apology goes a long way. People think that a lot of people just try to tie everything into monetary thing and man, listen, just an apology sometimes goes so far, but they're not even willing to admit that it was wrong in that way. Like
Right.
that's the part that baffles me. At the end of the day, you have to realize, man, no, yes, America was built on the back of immigrants, slaves, all
Yeah.
this other stuff. How can you
Thank
sit
you.
here and just act like it wasn't? Like,
It-
if you,
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious. Like it's so obvious, and they want to be mad because they want to pull statues and all that, bro. That's a statue. Like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
what is your connection? How are you? How do you feel connected to a stat? Like, I don't get it. People crazy, man.
It's pure
People crazy.
ignorance. And when you think about it, right, the history that's being taught to these children and to even to us as kids, it's whitewashed
Right.
history.
Mm-hmm.
There's no true history about Africans, about Black Americans. Most of the history starts with slavery. That's where the history began, but that's what white America teaches. So the ignorance now is, "Oh, well, none of that happened. Yeah, okay, well, slavery didn't happen to you, so, just get over it." What do you mean, get over it?
What you mean it didn't happen to me? We we deal with the repercussions
Yeah.
of that.
Still.
That's why they're in the ghettos. That's why they're in the hood. That's why
Hmm.
Generational
we have
trauma is a
certain
thing.
neighborhoods. Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
we the anger issues that we
Hmm.
have, the belief system that black people have built within ourselves because that was carried on from slavery. That's things that's deeply
Survival.
enrooted. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
enrooted
Hmm.
in our mindset. Like, and people
Right.
blame. The crazy part is they'll blame black people for what we do and how we do it when that was all taught to us anyway.
Right.
That was taught. It was taught for us to really not like each other. They pitted us
Hmm.
against each other. And I hate to say,
Absolutely.
not to really say
No, they did.
not to say I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is.
That's what it
And
is.
people
It
don't want to
absolutely
just
is.
admit the truth. People
It's
don't want to
mental
admit the truth.
slavery.
They
It's
also did that
absolutely a
with
part of
poor
mental
white people.
slavery.
They made it so that poor white people would go against black people, so that there would be a buffer in between the rich and black people. So that then you
Hmm.
have this group of people that will deal with all of the dirty work for you.
Right. Honestly, I feel like it's part of defy and take away the unity of a race that is extremely strong. And if you really truly look back in history, and you will see the strength of Africans and Black Americans. Look at Black Wall Street. The
I,
strength and unity when everyone came together, the power, the money, that's why it was burnt down. They don't
I,
want Black Americans to unify because there's strength in it.
Hmm.
the the only issue I have, like with the whole everything we're talking about right now, to be honest with you, I agree with all that. I really do. But the problem that I have personally, just as a black man, is at some point it's up to us. Like we can sit here all day and we can point the finger, we can say everything we want. My question is to my people is like, yo, what are we really doing? Like when I look around where I'm from now, I look around, I'm like, yo, people need to. It's amazing that we just can't. Everyone else can do it. Everyone else can come together. Everyone else can build this or do this, construct this, and work together to do this. But we can't do that. Like I literally, I think I told my father, I said, listen, I think if I bet if I started something and said, hey, listen, I need everyone, if everyone in our neighborhood, let's say we're trying to build, I don't know, a building for the kids or something. I said, okay, well, listen, we don't want to go to a bank or nothing like that. We need everyone here. It's 1 million people in our city. Let's all donate $1 so that way we can build this building. I can guarantee you that building won't get built because something's going to happen. Somebody in that group, in that community, is going to start the trend of having to, well, who's gonna hold the money? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? When that's a conversation. But instead of the conversation, they're going to just go at each other, which is going to cause the divide amongst each other. Now, granted, yes, that was taught. That was things that were taught, and that's engraved. But when is it going to be a point to where we come together and understand, man, we got
Right.
to shake this off. We got to shake this off. We can't just keep we just can't keep falling or blaming that whole
Being a
thing
victim.
for us. Yeah, because like you just said, Black Wall Street. If you think about it, that was a time when, man, it was real upfront hatred. Like stuff was the people
Yeah.
wanted to kill you just for being black, and they were able to make it and make it a real thing and be successful. So you telling me in a time where, don't get me wrong, the hatred is still there, but it's not
Right.
as in your face as it was before. So you're telling me we can't come together and do this? That's my problem. I just think that too many people
Right.
settle. They'll rather settle on an excuse instead of settle on a solution. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy when our black people, man. We sometimes we really can be our own worst enemy whenever it's just us, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Even though with everything else, like you said about the white privilege and all that, when it's your own, when it's us against us, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. I think black on black crime is horrendous. And it really pisses me off because I tell my friends all the time, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you don't have enough stacked up against you that you're going against your own brother. That don't make no sense to me. Cut it out.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. I think when, like you just said, black on black crime. I don't honestly, and this is me being honest. I don't have a problem with black on black crime. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with white on white crime. I don't have a problem with none of that stuff. The
Yeah.
bigger issue is just be equal opportunity. If you're gonna sit here and come, some guys broke in my truck when we were living in the old neighborhood. Broke in my truck. I didn't have nothing in my truck. I had nothing in it. They broke in it, went in there. I know they left out the car pissed off because nothing was in. They probably left. They probably took $4. Maybe took $4. I went live. I made a Facebook live video talking, hopefully, just talking to the people, but talking to the criminals. I'm like, how are you gonna come to this neighborhood and try to rob me in this neighborhood when there's a good chance I don't have nothing for you to take anyway? Like there's nothing of value you're gonna come to my neighborhood and take from me. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But we have a neighborhood where there's millionaires, there's all these high profile type of things, and you would rather come and take from me, the poor person who equally is poor as you, instead of going to the rich neighborhood where you could possibly get it. So that's the weirdo stuff to me. Like, if I'm gonna be a criminal, listen, man, I'm robbing everybody. It's not just this particular neighborhood. I'm trying to steal from everybody. I want to go from somebody who I know I can get the most bang for my buck. Because you're going to jail no matter what. If you get caught, the
I was
amount of
gonna
time
say,
you're
you
doing.
want to make it worth it. If you're gonna go to jail for it, you ain't gonna get $4. You
That's
gonna
my
get
point.
something else.
That's my point. You done robbed me out of some chump change. You're gonna go do 20 years for breaking in my car and stealing 33 cents? Come on, man, you bugging. But that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't have a problem with
Yeah.
it, but people is the mindset. They would rather risk, not even, number one, let me say this. Criminals are criminals, man. Like, I don't care if you're
Right.
stealing from poor people or rich people. You're a criminal, you're a criminal. You need to be locked up. But I'm just saying, if I'm a criminal, I'm not about to go rob nobody living in the ghetto right there with me. I'm gonna travel outside of my neighborhood, go in a neighborhood where I don't know nobody anyway, go hit them up, and then go do what I gotta do. But it's crazy to me, man. It's a mindset. But we were trained and taught. Listen, even though you don't have nothing, I want to take the little bit of something you might have, even though it may not be no value to me anyway. It's crazy. It's a mindset. It's insane to me. But people do it all the time. Now, I don't know how I don't know how white people do it. I don't know. Do white people breaking white people houses like that? Like, I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh yeah, especially down here in Florida.
Oh yeah, well, y'all Florida. Florida, that's a different type of.
I don't know what's happening over here. The things I read on the news, oh my, I'm sitting there like, yeah, you did what? Okay.
Florida, y'all crazy.
I warned you.
It's real.
Whole nother level in Florida.
Oh,
Now, you out there robbing people?
girl, if I was, I ain't gonna talk about it.
You sure right.
She has a criminal mindset.
Speak in the
You
night,
know what
okay?
She said, huh? You know what she said.
I
I
know.
ain't gonna speak about it.
I know.
Ain't no
I
self
know.
snitching. Ain't no self snitching.
Listen. If you gonna be about it, you ain't gonna talk about it. You just gonna do it. Those that talk about it are the ones that want to get caught. Those are the ones you need to watch out for because they're reckless.
They'd be like, "Oh, I just stole these sneakers on
in your car as soon as they leave your house."
I got a question for y'all. Have any of you? Because I know you guys date black men, right? Well, not still. I know you married still, but you guys date black men.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been with the person you were with, and have they been stopped by the police and profiled while with you?
Yep.
Ah. See, that's that. Now, how did that go? I'm interested in that. How did that go?
In all honesty, I mean, he jokes and says that I was his white pass. Because in reality, the cops saw me, and then the cops asking me, "Oh, do you know him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know him." At this point, I was dating him for 5 years. I'm like, "Of course I know him."
You're in the car with him, right?
Apparently, maybe what he said was, "I needed to make sure that you weren't being held against your will." I said, "You're asking me? You're asking me?
Wild.
You really? For real?" He asked me to step out of the car, and he asked me. He's like, "Well, what's his name?" Asked me his name, date of birth. I said, "You want to know his mother's name, his father's name, where he lives, what school he went to, where he's actually from? Because I can tell you all of it."
You told him that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you didn't get tased?
She's white
privilege. I
Right,
use
exactly.
my privilege.
Exactly.
Okay? At that point in time is when you assert and use your white privilege for the good.
I
I
feel you.
definitely was
I feel
very aware of it. But I was scared. And even now, even for myself, regardless of if I have, one of my friends in the car or even my daughter, I'm always conscious and I'm always like, I don't want to get pulled over. I have anxiety about being pulled over because I am in fear of the people who are with me. I feel responsible at for their life and their safety. I want to make sure wherever we're going, we're getting to safe. When my friends and my family leave out the house and I know they're going about or they're taking long drives, I'm afraid for them. And that's the reality,
mm,
And after that whole incident, I've always been anxious about being pulled over, even if I'm by myself or alone, because it just angers me. And I know with my mouth and my anger, I may say something really ignorant
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
if they slip up and say something ignorant to me. And it's just that's how I am. Like you can ask Riss. Riss was in the car with me when I got pulled over, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm about to die. I'm getting pulled over." And it was just a flashback of me being in that situation because I really was sitting here like, what's about to happen? Because, all right, we're getting pulled over for speeding. What the highway was 65, we were going 68. We're getting pulled over. Now, that ex, he drove fast and reckless all the time, but we literally were doing 68. And I was like, what's about to happen now? And just the fear and all the things that go through your mind. And as he's sitting there and he's questioning, and I'm like, is he about to yank him out the car? He's really sitting here because I'm white and he's black. He thinks that I'm in some kind of danger. Like, nah, I'm gonna go home and
Yeah,
fuck him.
yeah.
I'm not in
Okay,
danger.
I feel you. I feel you. Didn't need the last part, but I get you. I get you. Right on. Right
I
on.
just don't understand why it's automatically assumption of someone's in danger.
Yeah, it's that's crazy. Like I can. You said even what you said, like the fear part. I never. Well, I've had my own run-ins with police and all that stuff, but I really think about my son. He's 17, and we let him. He drives and all that, and I can't like. I really do like. It's a it is like you said, anxiety or whatever. It really is an issue because I feel it. Like when my son leaves, like if it's too late, if it's too dark, or something like that, I really have that anxiety. I'm like, yo, I gotta call. If he takes a little bit too long somewhere, you know what I mean? I know where you're going, so if you take a little bit longer than what I think it should take you, I get nervous and I gotta hit him up. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and that really is that's a trauma type of thing, man. And it's engraved. It's sad that people try to act like that's not real. Like people
Right.
really try to play that like it's not a real life thing. But
Right.
again, that's people. If you haven't experienced it, you really wouldn't understand. I got well, I got handled by police when I was 17. Same thing. Walking in the neighborhood, I had kids with me, little kids. Like I'm talking about some young kids, and it was after a football game, right? And you know, there's some kids walking in front of us. Whatever, they turned off. We were walking, the cops came, they drove past us, circled the block, came back around. And he stopped, flashed a little light. He was like, what is it? So, how y'all doing? Whatever. I was like, nah, we good. He was like, we got a call that some people was kicking out trash cans in this neighborhood. You know what I mean? And he said, you guys, did you see anybody kicking trash cans or were you guys? I said, nah, we wasn't kicking no trash cans. I said, they did have some older guys walking in front of us. You know what I mean? Because I had little kids, like I'm holding their hand walking from the thing. I said, they was in front of us. They probably was doing whatever. They drove around. They left, went around the block again, came back around, got out the car. He said, listen, I didn't see nobody walking or whatever. So you guys sure y'all wasn't kicking trash cans? So I kind of, I'm like, man, this dude tripping. Like he gotta be playing. We got little kids. I said, nah, man. I said, we ain't kicking no trash cans. I got these kids to the football game, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, hey, little man. He went down to the little kid and was like, hey, little man, were y'all kicking out trash cans? Look, I said, hey, man. I went down. Me, let's say, hey, bro. I said, hey. I said, nah, you can't talk to him. I said, you got to talk to me. I'm the guardian over the kid, man. I said, I'm telling you, we weren't kicking no trash cans. The dude literally, and I'm telling you all this story because it kind of it feeds into what you said, Nels. The guy,
Yeah.
he looked at me in the face. He said, so you call him officer a liar? And he stepped towards me, right? So I looked at him, and in my mind, I'm processing. I'm saying, okay, I know I'm not. I know I'm not going crazy. He tripping. Maybe he don't know what it is he doing. So I backed up. Backed up with the kid. I said, nah, I'm not calling him a liar. I said, but we didn't kick in no trash cans, and those dudes in front of us, they probably was. He said, like I said, so you calling my officers a liar, and he stepped up again. So I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, brother, I'm 17. I'm stock. I'm like, this dude he ain't about to punk me right here. So I stepped up to him. I said, yeah. I said, I'm calling you a liar. And he said, that's it. And he grabbed me, right? So he grabbed me. I'm looking at him like, this dude is crazy. Like he's not, but I'm not thinking again, this is before like the internet and all this other stuff where we could see all this stuff
Right.
happening. So
What was happening? Yeah.
I didn't know I really didn't know no better at the time, right? So when he grabbed me, I pull away from him. I said, bro, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? He tried to grab again. I said, bro, I grabbed him and I kind of put him on his car. I said, bro, what are you doing? Like I got these kids, man. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? You can't be doing all of this. So he called his other officers. So they all come, full cops, and they slam me on the car. They do all this stuff. Now I'm in front of these kids, these little kids, and one of my homeboys. They slam on the car, put me in the handcuffs, threw me in the back of the car, took us all downtown, right? Now the dude, he's driving to the to the police station, and I'm in the back, heated, handcuffed, right? He said, "See, that's the problem with y'all. That's the problem. All y'all do is start all kind of trouble." And I said, now at the time, I'm like, bro, I don't care what you talking about. I said, all I know is somebody gonna lose their job. Again, I'm thinking back then, I'm thinking like this just not right. You know, a naive kid. I'm a
Right.
kid, so I'm thinking like, nah, this dude's gonna lose his job. We get to the police station. It's like 11:30 at night, right? We get to the police station. They writing up the tickets and all. They write me up a citation or something, and people banging on the door because it's the jail. So I'm nervous, whatever. So they say, okay, I'm gonna give you the citation, whatever, for resisting arrest and interfering with the duties of a police officer. And I was like, bro, resisting arrest? I said, what you talking about, resisting arrest? I said, you grabbed me. You know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, but you think you're
Right.
lucky that's all you're being charged with. Because I could have charged you with something with a police officer, something he said. So they put us all in the car, they dropped us like 5 blocks from our house. We all minors. They didn't call none of our parents, right? It's 11:30 at night. My parents, they know we walking from the game, but it's still, it's 11:30 at night. Y'all arrested us and y'all ain't called nobody. So make a long story short, all of that happened when I was 17 years old, right? I didn't get, that stuff was on my record till I was 20 something. I was 20 something years old. And the only reason why they had to take it off, they did an investigation on the town where I was, and the whole police system was all crooked. The whole system.
Oh,
I'm talking about, they had to
would
go
you look
back
at that?
years. They had to go back years. But the problem
Wow.
is, it took them years to take that off my record. And I'm like,
Right.
it's amazing when you stop and think about it. People don't think about the repercussions of a lot of this stuff, and they just, like, you think it's stopped. They think it stops at just the police brutality, but it really shows
Mhm.
in real world, man, that could have stopped me from getting jobs. I don't know if that
Right.
stopped me from getting jobs, because you never know. They don't.
Right. It could have.
Yeah, they
Right.
don't tell you
Mhm.
that. But it's amazing.
Mhm.
Like people really need to, and I think that, like you said, Nels, I think that triggers something in our minds where now it's like I don't like cops, and people be like, well, why you? It's not all cops I don't like, but I
Right.
don't trust police. I don't trust police at
It's the
all.
idea.
I don't
Yeah.
trust them. How can you?
Because you've been through it, you've seen it, and then you see what's on the news and you see crazy stuff happen. How can you not? And it's not all police. Just like not all white people are racist. Just like not it, but you see it.
You
What
see,
it is.
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. But we, at the time we're in now, we actually can see it for what it is. It bothers me that we
Right.
can look at something. We can look at something like the George Floyd killing, and when people see that this guy got killed, the fact that they resort to, well, he was on drugs or he was this or that, bro, this dude, so he didn't deserve to get killed
He didn't deserve to die.
because he was on drugs. Like, yo, that's the problem though. They're thinking about something that's small. They're thinking about what he did to get killed when the bottom line, he shouldn't have got killed.
Right.
Right.
They will see anything to
Right.
not see the truth of the situation. They will find any
Mhm.
little thing, like, oh, he was drinking, he was whatever. He had a counterfeit $10 bill, which was
No
what they thought
excuse.
the whole thing started from. And then, but you see a grown man put his knee on his neck for 10 minutes. How does that make sense? No matter what he was doing, I don't care if he had $1,000 counterfeit bill, if that was a real thing. No one deserves that situation. That man was
Hmm.
still. Get your
He
leg
was
off that man's
handcuffed.
leg.
He was
Exactly.
Right.
handcuffed on
What are
the
you doing?
ground.
What are
There
you
was no
doing? And
threat
what baffles me about that whole thing is there was 4 cops there, and not one of them thought
I
this
should
isn't
stop him.
smart.
because they don't want
Right.
to go
Not one
against.
of them. They could have got that guy's knee off his neck if one of them was like, this
Mhm.
doesn't make sense.
But bet
And
money,
now
Yeah.
look at them all.
bet money
Hmm.
if one of the witnesses would have tried to interfere,
They
they
would have got
probably would have
shot.
they would have shot him.
Hmm.
Yep.
But that's
They
the
would have
Hmm.
shot him.
crazy part. Then they would have said,
They
well,
did. The
no, that's why
witnesses
he should
did
have
as
minded
much
his
as
business.
they could.
Yeah.
Right. The witnesses did as much as they could because we would not have known about that if some of the witnesses didn't take the
Yep.
videos that were taken.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Now, one of them cops would have said, "Oh, this guy did this or that." They would have made up some story as
Mm-hmm.
to what
Right.
didn't happen,
They
as to why to
they
justify
always
the fact
do.
that man was killed.
But
Exactly.
they justify it by saying, "Oh well, don't do criminal acts, don't do illegal things." I'm sorry, white people do, and they live to go home to their family. They get
Like we
water
just talked
handed to
about.
them as they're sitting on the
Right.
ground.
Right. Homeboy in Wisconsin was walking down the street with a rifle, killing people, and nobody stopped him.
His mama drove him
Right.
with the
And then
gun.
he goes to trial
Across
and
state
gets
lines.
acquitted. How does that even happen? Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Makes zero
But the
sense.
kid in Texas, but the black kid in Texas who bought a gun to school because a gang was bullying him every single day, robbing him, abusing him every single day, and he shot the kid that was doing it, and they want this kid in jail for the rest of his life. So you telling me the kid can travel across to another state where this stuff has nothing to do with him, with a rifle with the intent to kill someone? You can't. They can say whatever they want. If you traveled across state lines
Yep.
with a
You
loaded
had
weapon
every
in a
intent.
hostile place, you went there with the intentions of causing harm to
Absolutely.
someone. You
Exactly.
can't make
Absolutely.
me believe that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make me.
Yep.
But the mindset, people, this dude is looked at as a victim, and I can't. That's the part of America that when you stop
Mhm.
and notice, you don't even hear anything else about this. You don't hear people
Yeah.
upset that this even like notice whenever things like this happen, you're not hearing it. This kid is living
Mm-hmm.
his life doing whatever he's doing. Probably got a book deal.
Mhm.
He's
He's
gonna
got
have
book
money. He's gonna be
deals.
a
He's got
Yeah.
deals
millionaire.
on Fox. He's living his life.
Whitewashed
Come
media.
Yep.
on,
Right. He won't even
Georgia.
probably have
Again.
to work a day in his life. He won't have to work a day in his life between everything, books, this, that. I guarantee you, people are probably sending him money and writing him letters and being like,
Facts.
"Here's some money to help you get through this."
He's a
Guaranteed.
martyr. He's a
Hmm.
martyr. People are happy that
It's
this guy
disgusting.
did what he did.
Right.
It's but again, the little black kid who was defending himself from being
Right.
constantly abused by people, they were mad because the kid got bail and his parents bailed him out and had a party. Bro, you did my kid was getting booked, and the kid never had a criminal history. The kid was a good straight A student. Family came from money. His family came from money. He was a well-off kid.
Mm-hmm.
So the kid defended himself from being bullied by these dudes, these kids, and the teachers knew it was happening. So again, why blame the kid when everybody else knew what was happening and nobody stepped up?
Right.
It's crazy, man.
It's disgusting.
Understand is when
It
a
goes
white
back to
kid,
mental slavery.
right? When a white kid does something, like look at the Charleston shooting a couple of years ago when he went to Bible study and shot the people at the church. That man made it out alive and in jail. If that was a black man shooting up a Catholic church,
Oh,
he would not have come out alive. There ain't no way.
nah,
Ain't no way. But why
somebody,
all the time? Yeah,
somebody in the church would have shot him. Facts.
right, right. Someone in that church would have been having and nothing. Nobody would have turned their heads. It's crazy
Oh,
that
the
this
cops
man
would have seen him as a threat, even if he was walking out, hands up, They would
with
have
the
saw him
gun.
as a
With the
threat
gun.
still.
Right. I just don't
Mhm.
understand how you can't see a problem that every time, I won't say every time, majority of the time a white person does something crazy like that with shooting anybody. The man that shot up the little kids in Connecticut, white guy.
They're all white
You know,
guys.
everybody, right.
Almost all of the mass
All the
shooters.
time when it's
I
white
think
guys,
I
like, get
I,
out.
I want to
That's
say
true too,
all,
though.
but I'm gonna say 99% because I don't know the exact facts.
Yeah,
I,
it
No,
but
gotta
there
be
are
like
some.
90.
it's high
It
up
It's
gotta
high.
be
there.
It's
like
high.
that.
It's
It's a
high.
high
It's high.
percent.
It's high. It's
Yeah.
high.
The cop who went into the wrong apartment and killed.
Yeah, it was
Check,
Texas, right? Yeah.
yo, listen to me, man. For his
You don't go in the
this
wrong
not off.
apartment.
For his brother to get his clown ass up on that stand and cry and say, "I want to hug this woman." I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, literally, bro, she killed your brother and said she went in the wrong apartment, and you hugging this chick. Like, what? It blew my mind. But again,
You got
that's
click
a
clack mental
mental
slavery for real.
Always wanted
mental
about that
mindset.
story. What I always wanted about that story is I don't believe the fact that she went to the wrong apartment first, but that's just my personal belief. If that was a white guy that opened the door, would the same event happen?
No, I don't think so.
Exactly. I don't think so either. I don't think
And
so
I
either.
can guarantee you, if it was a black man went in the wrong apartment of a white woman and killed that white woman, that black man was going to. We'd have lost. That black man would have been lost. Like, you're not finding him. He'd have been underneath any state penitentiary they could find, and that's a
Mhm.
fact for the rest of his life. Not for no couple
Yep.
of years.
Nope.
For the rest of
Nah.
his life, and that's the
Yeah.
problem right there. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. That is the problem.
And people wonder why. It's the BLM
It's
movement.
story, but it's story after story after story like this. We just named 4 or 5, but there's so many
Yeah.
more. What is it going to take for people to see that there's a problem, and how do we fix it? What do we do? Like, it's just not okay.
You gotta honestly like start breaking down the stigmas and start breaking down the white guilt and the denial and really sit back and look at all of these things and stop making excuses and look at the statistics and really sit there and be like, what the fuck? Because you cannot seriously hear all of these things going on from both, let's just put it in whack and whack. I can't even talk. White and black. Let's put it in white and black. You cannot sit there and look at it and say, this white man did this crime, this black man did the same exact crime. Why is it the black man is being sentenced to death and the white man is getting off with 3 years probation? Why? They have the same exact record in history. They have the same exact upbringing. They have the same exact crime to a T. Why is his more severe? You can't literally sit there and say, oh, well, you know, because he did this and whatever. No, because the white man did it too. Why? If you really can sit there and try to justify it, you are the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee you, people will try to justify it. They won't notice, and if you want to be even honest, they don't even ask the question. We see that
Right.
that happens. That happens more than what we actually think about. Like, people with the exact same crime, done the same thing, and get extremely. The guy who raped or attempted to rape that girl when they found about a dumpster, the
Mhm.
swimmer guy, and he got off. Like, bro,
He did rape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that college guy, right? Yep.
yeah, who?
Yep.
I don't know what these people.
Because he had
but
a
yet,
promising future.
That's what it was.
but-
That's exactly
but-
what it was. His father had money, and he was going to a good college.
yeah,
They didn't want to mess up his future.
The black kid in Georgia was with his white girlfriend and was being chased by a mob, by other white people, some white boys and a white chick, chasing them driving. He pulls out a gun and shoots back at the people chasing them. He is arrested and in jail right now. And those people that was chasing him, not in jail for nothing. When he wouldn't have never even pulled a gun if y'all wouldn't have. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a
Mhm.
cause and effect, but they don't want to talk about the cause of it. They don't want to hear the cause.
Right.
They just know, hey, brother, you did it. Let's go. You getting locked up. It's crazy to me. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
The Ahmaud Arbery case, the guy's running, and they talking about they were scared for their life. That's why he shot him. Y'all are in a truck.
You
That
were
man is
chasing
running on his
him.
foot. How are you afraid of the man running on his feet when you were
He's
in a truck?
running away from you. How are you in
Right.
fear or in imminent danger?
Right.
Stupid.
And then you think about how much stuff has happened without social media. If we didn't have social media, how
Telling
much
you.
of this stuff would be like? That's how much stuff happened before we had social media. Is crazy to me. And these people are still
Well,
doing this, knowing that anybody pops out a camera, anybody pops out a picture, and they're still doing it.
Hey, loves. I hope you're enjoying the discussion so far. This has gone a little bit over, so it's such an important topic for us all that we are going to split it into 2 sessions. So join us next week for part 2. Until then, be kind, spread love, and just remember it's all a bunch of BS.